So, good morning, everyone. My name is Faith, and today I'm here to share a little bit about what I have learned and gained from this year in Advent. So, this is my third year of Advent, and last year I caught a bad stomach flu. So, I had a rough experience that was mainly due to getting sick. And so, this is important because this year I was pretty scared going back to Advent, and especially the Taiwan environment, because I was afraid that I might accidentally consume contaminated food and get sick again. So, then I was worried that I wouldn't be able to enjoy Advent this year as well. So I was very nervous and psyching myself out before I even left the US. And so boot camp, I got there and I was like, hey, it's not going to be that bad. Because I noticed that there are a lot of new people, and I think the mindset going into it already made me expect an outcome. But I met a lot of amazing new people and met a lot of new friends. So that was really fun. And I was also able to strengthen my already existing friendships with my church friends. And so one of my biggest highlights of Advent was I had the opportunity to serve on the worship team. And I remember in my first year, I was really awestruck by God's presence during the Advent worship sessions. And this year, I was glad to have the opportunity to be part of the team that was working to bring glory and honor to Him through worship. And it was also nostalgic seeing many first-timers and their excitement towards worship at Advent. So this picture was worship night where everyone just linked arms and they got to jump up and down. And this was one of our practice sessions, so that was really fun. So one of the Bible verses that came to mind was Psalms 100 verses 1 through 2, and it says, "Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Come before Him with joyful songs." So, because we had a couple Advent theme songs, and one of them was praise, and I just remember every time we played it, everyone was really hype and jumping up and down. So, one of my lowlights is in Tianzong the first week. My fears came back because I inexplicably got some sort of minor traveler's bug. And I was afraid, I probably ate something that was contaminated. But thankfully, I had a lot of good teammates, and I had a couple that were thoughtful enough to tell me to drink more water and eat more protein. And there was also Shimu, so I'm glad that she was able to take care of me, and I quickly got over my traveler's bug. And so during this time, I remembered a Bible verse that we went over in youth group a couple months back, as I prayed that I would not get sick this time. And it was Philippians 4, verses 6 through 7. And it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." So I learned to be thankful, and I think the gratitude helped me to shift my focus. So for the Thanksgiving part, I was thankful that we had a very nice building that our host church provided us. And it had a wonderful view, as it was the 4th floor, and a very chunky cat named Panda. I was allergic to the cat, but it was fun to watch from a distance. These are some Advent pictures. So during both weeks, I made a lot of unforgettable memories, and this time was with my students. So my mindset going into Advent this year was I want the students to experience and get to know Jesus. And I was glad that not only was I able to share my testimony, a lot of them were very receptive to it, and the rowdier students actually calmed down to listen. So these are some of my students. And it was very touching and heartwarming to see how God's plan was fulfilled, because the class-to-teacher pairings were perfect, and they worked out so that the teacher's testimony would be something that personally related with a lot of the students. So these are more pictures. And one of my sweetest memories was with particularly the class in the top middle. And they were 4th and 5th graders, and I played hide and seek tag with them every single day. And we had 2 breaks every day, so that's 10 rounds of hide and seek tag. I was really tired from teaching in the morning, but it was really fun, and I was glad to see how I could bond with them both inside the classroom and outside. And one of my lows was obviously parting with my students, because chances are we're never going to see them again. So it was really sad to leave them behind. But I think the memories were really memorable. And So I had also a lot of fun at debrief because we got to eat really good buffet food. And at that point, I was not worried about like eating contaminated food anymore, so I was able to enjoy that. And we also went to malls every day and we walked around a lot, so I got a lot of exercise. So in conclusion, this Advent experience, I realized a couple of things. And the first one is that like when you hold on to the past, it kind of blinds you from like moments of laughter and new friendship opportunities right in front of you. So since I was worried about getting sick so much, I kind of like missed some of the opportunities to make new friends and like have fun. And second is God is great and all powerful. He brought every single one of us together for his glory and to fulfill his will. So can you just think for a second how amazing it is that everyone who attended this year happened to sign up for this year and happened to meet each other? And I think a lot of the experiences we had help us to grow a lot more. So it was just really awesome that we all happened to meet each other. But that was all God's doing, and he put us together to work together and to learn together. And my last point is that God put certain people together to achieve his greatest purpose in our lives and reveal his glory to us in ways we never could have thought possible. So I had a couple of students write me really sweet letters, and in those letters they mentioned how they could relate to my personal testimony, and they were really touched by how awesome it was that God was with me in my darkest times. And I was really surprised because I didn't expect it to speak so deeply to some of them. And I bet they never could have thought that joining an English program would allow them to feel connected. And so God put the class and teachers together really well, and it all worked out in the end. So I don't think I put in this Bible verse, but one of the Bible verses that I realized was my main lesson this year was Philippians 3:13 through 14. And it's where Paul talks about the eternal perspective, where he says, "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it. But one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead, I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenwards towards in Christ." Thank you.